I just want to let y'all know, some parts of the video, some of the edits are gonna look a little weird, because there are some clips that I was chopping up, and, like, placing into different parts of the video. And the reason why I was doing that is because in the playlist that I was reacting to, like, with all the videos, um, they were not in order, so I kind of had to put them in order. And it was a little difficult, especially for a video that was like half an hour long. So, yeah, just letting you know. Hey, what's up, dudes? It's Trayvonix, and welcome back to another reaction video. Now, I'm a little late on this, because apparently this was like a thing like a year ago, because I saw PewDiePie's video of it literally like an hour ago, and I'm surprised I wasn't aware of it a year ago. So yeah, like I said, I'm a little late on this. But this is the Jilly Juice thingy, uh, something that was created by, I don't know her name, but a girl, a woman, I should say, that made Jilly Juice, and apparently, there's people who have tried it, lots of people. Some people think it's great. Most people think it's bad. No, it's bad, actually. So let's get into the reaction. Alright, first clip. Here we go. Oh, and this is a playlist on YouTube, obviously. There's like 7 videos in a playlist, so I don't know if this will actually show the end of that episode, but I'm hoping it is, though. Like, I hope this is just clips of the video, so I guess, if they actually put a full episode in there, it wouldn't be copyrighted, I guess. I don't know.
If you take my jelly juice, you can
There
live
it
to
is.
be 400.
Is it a miracle cure? You believe if you had an arm cut off, you could drink this and it would grow back?
I do it.
Or an outrageous, that's just ridiculous.
That's your opinion.
No, that's scientific fact.
Dangerous scam.
You're giving this to your children?
Yes.
You are preying on desperate people. Some of them are dying.
Jillian says she wants me to try Jilly Juice.
All new Dr. Phil.
So
Nice.
you ask people, this is 2.5 cups.
Should I put my
you want
thing
people
on the bottom,
to
or?
drinking a gallon of this a day.
Right. Because the thing is, people are very malnourished. What's going on is you're so immunocompromised, you're not absorbing all the nutrition. That's why you see mutation from people. And so when you actually,
Oh, it's just a coincidence.
when
I don't know.
you flood your system, you're actually.
I don't know that much about that kind of sciencey health stuff, but I used to in 7th grade and 6th grade. I used to be a huge nerd at that, but I started to get into like other stuff. So I'm kind of lacking in knowledge of that kind of stuff.
Feeding your body what it wasn't ordinarily getting, because you're being undermined by parasites, you're being undermined by all the different toxins that are attacking you at the cellular level.
So here's the protocol. The Jilly Juice, 2 cups a day, work up to a gallon.
Yes.
Diet, which is certain raw nuts, seeds, oils, certain
Fruits and
fruits,
vegetables, yes.
certain meats. Healing management, prepare for pain, manage, change the juice amount, purge the mutations. So you acknowledge that they're going to feel really not great when they start drinking this.
What I'm acknowledging is that we're redefining the role of pain in our world, because what you do with pain right now is you squelch it with a pill, powder supplement, or opioid.
Okay,
right?
you're saying they're not going to feel well when they drink this.
They're going to feel. They're going to feel. They're going to feel healing.
I assume you have pictures of people that have regrown arms and stuff.
Absolutely not, because I haven't gotten that far. I've only been doing this for a year.
So you don't have any proof that this regrows arms.
Proof is all relative. I've seen proof in smaller experiential
That's not
circumstances.
relative. You have proof you don't.
No, proof is relative.
Do you have any training?
Hold on a second.
Do you have any training?
I have enough training
What
by
is your
looking at
training?
the internet and actually taking information. Right. But the internet actually.
Yeah, and this is where people find this is on the internet, right? Do you have any biochemical training?
No, absolutely not.
No medical education or degree.
No.
You have no medical license.
Nope.
You have no scientific studies.
Nope.
You have no clinical studies.
Nope.
Human studies, animal studies.
No. Do you want to see what they left behind? Do you see your friends and family dying of cancer disease and chronic illness? Is that what you want?
Your claims are that you can regrow organs and limbs.
Okay, let's wait. Is this? Yeah, let's read this. All right. So these are the claims that it can do, I guess. So aging. So it can slow down your aging aging apparently. I worded that wrong. Let's not worry about that. We're worrying about this, all right? We're criticizing her, not me, all right? About my lack of pronunciation. All right. And apparently it can stop or cure cancer. If it could actually cure if it could do most of these or all of these, the government would be right on it and be using it by now. You would think, even after a year. Down syndrome, homosexual. Now that is just offensive, all right? That is really offensive. Come on, man. Who would even want to cure their own homosexuality? If they feel like they have a connection with their own kind of gender, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You fucking kidding me? I hope this video doesn't get taken down or age restricted by YouTube just because I said a curse word.
If you can heal a cut on your arm, that's your integumentary system, right? These are cells that are regrowing. So how can that not be a lead to go into regrowing your organs?
If I lose my arm in an accident, I can.
You can potential, yes. If you
So do I
reinforce.
pour this on it or I drink it?
No, you drink it. You heal from the inside out.
I see.
But
So-
yeah.
So I drink this, and that arm is just going to regrow.
Well, here's the thing. I know you're mocking me, but I get it. It happens
No, I'm
over time.
asking because
Right.
I want to know what it is. Just what it is you say it'll regrow.
Because look, if
Let me
you
clear.
heal your cut on your arm, right? You see
I
the
didn't
skin.
ask you how. I'm just asking you.
Yes, you can regrow it potentially.
You say we can live to 400 years old.
Heck yes, yes.
And
Heck
cancer,
yes.
You can just reverse cancer, any kind of cancer.
Of course, cancer's a fungus.
If you drink this, Down syndrome, all the cells just completely reformat.
Is it?
Absolutely, it's like
Facial
growing.
features.
Is cancer a fungus?
Facial features change.
Absolutely, because your morphine, like when you are growing, your bones shift. It's painful.
And you say that this will reverse homosexuality?
Yes, because here's how we look at humanity.
Yes.
There's a male and there's a female, right? And then you have 11 differences with a male and 11 differences with a female. You have a reproductive system that gets mutations and it misfires signals and it creates anomalies. All right? Because how I look at life is procreation, life is also protection, vibrancy, health, productivity, energy. If you have nothing of those and you happen to be homosexual, then you might as well just do this and see what it does to you.
That is just outrageous.
It is.
That is outrageous.
Of course it is. Because it's totally.
Whoa. Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here. No, you're not going to try it. Out. Whoa.
He actually wants to try it?
I move like a
That old
cat.
geezer is actually, sorry, but he actually wants to try it? He wants to get his youth back. He thinks that's the jar of youth.
Garfield the cat, but still a cat.
You probably took a bit of my jelly juice without me knowing, and that's what probably gave you that.
But I don't want to bury what I'm saying. I think you saying this about reversing homosexuality is outrageous and offensive.
It can be, yes.
No, it is offensive to those who are homosexual.
Jeff Holiday is nobody to me. He's just somebody that wants to make money and found a place to do it. Jeff Holiday is an out-of-work YouTuber.
Well, Jillian says a group
Yeah,
of
it is.
online trolls who have never tried her jelly juice are accusing her of trying to scam people and kill mothers and babies. Now, Jeff Holiday, a debunker of pseudoscience on YouTube, says Jillian is a liar and preys on desperate people. Take a look.
I'm here on the Dr. Phil show because I want to confront Jillian Epperly about the dangerous practices that she's spreading on the internet. She's not a doctor. She's not a scientist. She doesn't have the education to understand what she's saying. She's preying on vulnerable people looking for answers, looking for a way to heal themselves. It's very simple. Jilly Juice is a fraud. If you follow Jillian's protocol and you drink about a gallon of this crap a day, you're going to end up drinking 4 times the recommended healthy amount of salt. Not only does this not do what she thinks it's supposed to do, but it is actually harmful because it's convincing people to give themselves sodium poisoning. That can lead to confusion, dizziness, seizures, coma, strokes, and death. Jillian believes that her juice has special properties because it fights candida. She believes that candida is the source of all disease, dysfunction, chronic illness, cancer. The overall goal with Jillian's protocol is very simple. You have to fight the candida by drinking the Jilly juice and increasing good bacteria. How you do this? Well, that's simple. You just have to have waterfalls, which is their clever name for violent diarrhea. There is no evidence to back this up. How having copious amounts of diarrhea is somehow going to cure your AIDS or your cancer makes no sense. She's even been on record lovingly calling this a poop cult. Jillian also believes that her juice can help you regrow your limbs, regrow your organs, and if you really want to top it off, she also believes it can cure the gay. Jillian needs to be stopped. This can get worse. People can really get hurt. People could die.
Jeff, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You've been tracking this and seeing what she says on the internet. As you think these claims are outrageous and dangerous.
I think they're insane. Absolutely insane. And I think you are actually a dangerous human being.
That's your opinion.
He raises a very good point. You have all of these claims, but you have no data. You have no basis for this. You have some people that, well, you've not regrown any limbs. You haven't regrown any. You're not 312 years old. You don't have.
Well, of course not. I'm not missing any limbs.
Well,
So
so
what did we grow?
what basis do you have for making these claims? And the reason, and I agree with what he's saying about this being dangerous, there are desperate people in the world who just might suspend medical protocols, blindly hoping in desperation that somebody that tells them what they want to hear is going to save their life or that of a loved one, and forego responsible protocols and drink your cabbage juice and wind up in serious danger.
Well, it's not just might. There have been.
Well, I
there are
understand.
lots of people. There are quite a few people.
Here's
People
the
who've
thing.
foregone like their
Here-
actual medical
Do you
treatment.
worry about that at all?
Here's the thing. I'm actually teaching people how to learn about their own body themselves to make their own
Do
decisions.
you feel responsible for the people who follow your protocol and they get hurt? Do you feel
No,
responsible?
I don't feel responsible. You know
Why
why?
not?
Because
Why?
they had the opportunity to read my information and understand it. I have it all free. There is
Jillian.
nothing hidden in my agenda here.
You are preying on vulnerable
Only
people.
by you who
These
says-
are desperate people. Some of them
Says
are
you.
dying. No,
They're
no, no.
not dying.
This is reality.
No, it's not reality. Because where's the substantiate that they're dying? Please substantiate that. Not a hospice patient.
Some of them have died.
Not a hospice patient who's already been dead, who's already basically dead by the system.
I feel like that's the most pissed she has been.
When I started researching Jillian, I looked at her group, I read her book, I poured through all of her videos, and I found a disturbing trend of what felt like a narcissistic cult leader.
What critics are saying about me is that I am like a cult, that I brainwashed all of my followers into following me.
If you're a follower of Jillian and her protocol and you disagree, you're booted from the social media group.
To the haters that attack me, you can either join us or you can go
Haters.
live your controlled lifespan and be sick for the
Yeah,
rest of your life.
haters.
Well, Jeff says Jillian is like a cult leader, handing out an alleged cure-all juice that she created, a juice that some say causes problems. But Brigitte and Angie say since they started drinking Jilly juice, it has had incredible healing benefits. Angie says she even gives the juice to her entire family, including her children. Take a look.
I had chronic illnesses, and I was in and out of the hospitals and constantly being submitted in the ER. Since the Jilly Juice, I have not had to take any of the medication that changed my life.
I am very happy with the protocol. It's my life. When I discovered that I have psoriasis, I decided to go to many different dermatologists. I spend about $800 a month on all the food, the supplements, in the hope that it will help. But I found it helps about 45 to 50% max. Jilly Juice has helped reduce 80% of my condition.
Not only am I benefiting from Jilly Juice, but the rest of my family is also. My son has autism and my daughter has ADHD. Since being on Jilly Juice, my son has been tested and he is in moderate autism. Prior to that, his symptoms were showing severe autism. For my daughter, her grades have gone up.
Jilly Juice has done
Guess
an
what?
amazing thing for me.
I have special needs too, and no way I'm trying that shit.
feel happier, I feel younger, I feel much more energetic. Most of the people that haven't seen me for a while, the first thing they would say, wow, what have you done? I told them it's a very simple protocol. Drink Jilly Juice.
I am the healthiest I've ever been, thanks to the Jilly Juice.
Okay, thank you all for being here. So how long?
I bet it isn't because of the Jilly Juice, and they're just
started
doing
the
other stuff
protocol on
and
June 30th of 2017.
And did your body have a big reaction to it when you started?
Oh, definitely.
Did you have these waterfalls?
Oh, definitely.
It gives you diarrhea.
It's not diarrhea. It's
Violent
not diarrhea.
diarrhea.
It's called waterfalls because it's different context, different intention, and different outcomes.
Okay, explosive diarrhea.
Okay.
But it's not diarrhea.
You say that it's different because they don't lose electrolytes.
No, you don't. Because you're actually, the reason why you're having the waterfalls is because you're reinforcing your immune system to purge out what doesn't belong.
Well,
which
you
is the
don't know
toxins.
that. That's just
I
something
do,
you say.
because we
No,
see-
you
we
don't
see-
know that.
we
That's
see.
that's
You
just
see-
something you say. You
you
have no
see the-
training. You have no basis to say
you
that.
see the
And when you
reversal.
say that you have diarrhea without losing electrolytes, that's just ridiculous.
Okay, that's
That's
your
just absolutely
opinion.
ridiculous.
But
No,
you're
it's not my
a doctor.
opinion. That's
That's
scientific fact.
yes, yes,
Doctor.
yes.
It's ridiculous.
Right, we're different. We're different.
No, we're not different.
We are.
No, we're not different.
Obviously we are, because
No,
you agree.
No, we're
You
not
agree,
different.
so that
No, we're not different.
you're
I'm right
coming.
and you're wrong. That's your.
We get it. We're on this show. Okay, I get it.
Oh.
Diarrhea, you lose electrolytes.
That's based on
you
the
get
doctor.
dehydrated.
That's on the doctor's scale. I'm not working from the doctor intention of
No,
keeping you
you're
sick.
not.
How exactly is violently peeing out your butt supposed to help your immune system?
Because your immune system is working because of that.
I have a question. Have you tried it?
No.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, no.
There you go.
No,
There
thank
you go.
you.
That's the answer. You're not going to
Okay,
know unless
Angie,
you try
let me
it.
ask.
I swear this is the last time I'm gonna pause it, but I bet he would be a total savage. Nobody says that anymore, but I'm using it right now. He'd be a total savage if he actually did say he tried it, or at least lied about it, and say, and it was the worst mistake I've ever made. that would kind of be convincing towards them, if you ask me. Just a little bit. He'd be a total savage if he did that.
Let me ask you something. Do you believe that if you had an arm cut off, you could drink this and it would just grow back?
I do. But we haven't seen that happen. But
No,
I
I'm
can
just
assure
asking you.
But-
do you
but-
believe her claims that it can regenerate a limb? Do you believe that?
There is a possibility. I
No,
believe
there's
in that.
No,
There
there
is
is
a
not.
possibility.
You're giving this to your children,
Yes.
and you have how many
Have
children?
these retards
I have 4 total.
like ever thought about the
They
government
are
being on
12,
that kind of stuff if it actually
6,
did work like that?
4, and 2.
Are you,
And you give it to all
Wait,
your
4.
Yeah, I do.
And how much are they drinking?
They're only drinking 15 milligrams a week.
And are they having waterfalls?
No, they don't.
So you're not giving them enough that it.
Exactly.
When you do the Jilly Juice and you have detox symptoms, it includes diarrhea, chills, sometimes even fever.
There's a lot of salt, there's a lot of water that is induced into your body. That will cause a bit of a headache, a little bit of a nauseating feeling. My body is a little bit swollen.
When you are waterfalling, you are purging out with some force the things that do not belong in your body.
Well, Jillian, the creator of Jilly Juice, says part of the protocol after drinking the concoction is purging. which clears the gut of parasites and fungus. But Karen and Mickey say the purging process almost caused them to pass out.
Jillian targets the sick and the weak. She goes after people who are desperate for a cure. I originally started doing the Jilly Juice in order to do a proper detox. And whatever Jillian was saying made a lot of sense. How harmful could cabbage juice be? My experience with Jilly Juice was horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Like
I've already
salt
seen
water.
most of
called
everything
sewer
because of the
water.
PewDiePie
The more
video.
I took of it, the longer I would be in the bathroom. I had nothing but trouble.
And
My
I
kidneys hurt,
totally
my pancreas hurt. I had a headache that I could not get rid of. Pain.
agree
cramps,
with
felt like
the
there
other
was just
guy. I
something
forgot.
in my
Oh, wait,
head.
hold on.
My blood pressure was so high. My face was drooping. I was slurring my words. I wasn't going to have a
Miles?
stroke.
Was that his name?
for
I don't know.
My hand was numb. It was tingling. The fingers I
The
couldn't
debunker
pry
guy.
them apart. They were stuck together. I talked to the doctor, and he says, I think we need an MRI. They were able to definitively see the fact that there were 2 strokes. When I went to my cardiologist, he was the one that said, yes, dehydration happens with that much salt. When I did finally talk to Jillian, I was just trying to warn her, like, you really need to make sure you protect yourself. Her reaction was, well, you don't have to worry about that. I've got plenty of lawyers. And she says, you were supposed to keep drinking the juice. That was just a symptom. You didn't die. I said, no, I didn't die. Am I supposed to die to prove your theory?
Well, ladies, thank you for being here. Anything you want to respond to that you've heard so far?
Okay, you guys had positive results. I think that's absolutely fantastic, and I applaud you, and I think that's wonderful. But you need to take responsibility for the people you're hurting instead of kicking them out, telling them they're wrong, telling us we did something wrong, and it's our fault. It's not our fault. It's your fault because you lied to us.
Okay, so substantiate the lie that was told.
That it can't hurt anyone, and it certainly could never kill you.
Well, here's the thing, honey. Did you read all my
Don't
files?
call me honey.
Did you
Honey.
read all my
Don't.
files? Did you read all my files in the group?
Yes, and I listened to those nauseating videos
Nauseating.
for
So,
hours.
so your intention was really to reinforce your belief systems, but you tried this with a Hail Mary without really
Nope, not a Hail
understanding.
Mary at all.
It was
I
a Hail Mary
brew
to you.
every day. I brew.
I don't even remember
So-
even interacting with you.
That's right, you don't.
Yeah.
Tell me why you started this to begin with.
I have really bad fibromyalgia, and the doctors have tried several things, and they don't work at all. And there'll be days I can't get out of bed.
And so when you started ingesting this, it was difficult.
Oh, horribly difficult.
And what happened?
The first time, I threw up.
Uh-huh.
It took a while to sip at it.
Did it look like this?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then what started happening that caused you to stop?
The first symptoms were that there's this bone-chilling cold, the headaches, of course, the waterfalls, which are just horrible diarrhea, rashes, this headache that would come on, and I couldn't think straight. I wasn't able to communicate properly for sometimes half a day.
And did you ask about this? Did you
Oh, yeah.
contact Jillian?
Oh, definitely.
And what was the response?
We were told those were healing symptoms. You're doing fantastic. Keep it up. You're gonna get through this, and everything will be fine. It can't hurt you.
Why did you ultimately stop?
I ultimately stopped because one afternoon I was sitting on the sofa. Sorry. And I was talking to my husband on the phone, and I was slurring my words so bad. And he said, take your blood pressure. And I took my blood pressure, and it was 205 over 185. And I knew I was just a minute from a stroke.
Oh no.
Well, Karen says Jilly Juice caused her to suffer 2 strokes, but when she complained, Jillian called her a fearmonger and blocked her from the online group. Jillian says some people just have low thresholds, and if they would stick it out, they will see their illnesses reversed. Is there any merit to Jillian's claims? Well,
Right there.
Dr. Udim says that acute ingesting of that degree of sodium can put an individual at very high risk for a stroke. Dr. Udim, thank you for being here. This is the stuff. Would you like to take a drink?
Thank you.
No
I'll
thanks?
pass.
Okay. What do you think about these claims?
The claims obviously are outrageous, but the harms are even more concerning. Regardless of whether you're using Himalayan salt or any other kind of salt, the mineral content may be different, but the amount of sodium is 40%. It is just the same. And it is the sodium that we are worried about in this concoction. That amount of sodium in 1 cup, as you mentioned earlier, is 2 to 3 times what the daily allotment is for a normal individual. If an individual has risk factors like hypertension or kidney disease, then it's even 4 to 5 times the recommended amount. So certainly that amount of sodium ingestion can cause a stroke. No doubt about it.
That's in 1 cup, right?
Absolutely.
And the recommendation is to get up to drinking 16 cups.
What's the
And
outcome
the
of a
second
low
point,
sodium
to your
diet?
point, is that that amount of sodium ingestion can also result in other acute problems. Sudden consumption of that degree of sodium can cause hemorrhaging in the brain, seizures, respiratory distress, organ dysfunction, so it's not to be taken lightly. The second point is that these waterfalls are diarrhea. The point that you don't lose electrolytes in diarrhea is completely false.
It's not diarrhea.
The loss of electrolytes can cause
not
a
diarrhea.
range of symptoms that
I
can be
told you.
minor, like muscle cramps.
Her
but they
denying
can
that it's
cause
not diarrhea
severe side
towards a
effects,
doctor.
like sudden cardiac
doctor.
death because your heart muscle does not have the
How are you gonna
electrolytes
argue
it
against
needs
that?
in order to pump.
This claim about
I wasn't
living
listening, my
400
bad.
Like sudden cardiac death because your heart muscle does not have the electrolytes it needs in order to pump.
This claim about living 400 years, reasonable or outrageous claim?
I mean, outrageous.
How about regrowing limbs and organs?
Yeah, I mean, clearly regenerating organs and limbs is a very complicated process. To suggest that a juice that doesn't even have the building blocks, calcium, cartilage, I mean, there are nutrients that are required to regrow bone, for example. This juice does not even have the building blocks for that growth, much less the mechanism to allow for that to happen.
How about this reversing autism and ADHD?
You would know as well as I, these are neurodegenerative conditions that are multifaceted and multifactorial. Look, the medical community does not pretend to have all the answers.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes,
I
they
think
do. Right here, case in point.
I
You have all the
think that I think it's clear that
Wow.
unfortunately our level and body of information has limitations. We don't have all the answers. But one thing that is certain is that a particular concoction cannot change the very complicated neurodevelopmental issues that result in these diseases.
You two say that you've had benefits from this.
That is correct.
You've heard what Dr. Udeem says from UCLA and Cedars-Sinai, and I think you would agree she's a very competent physician, and she calls into question a lot of these claims and also points out some real danger with regard to the salt consumption. And all I can say is you've been warned. To you, I would say your children don't get to make a choice. And I would really, really, really caution you that whatever you may choose to believe for yourself, if you're giving this to your children, really rethink that, because I think that's very dangerous. One of the conditions of parenting, and I can tell you this having been trained as a forensic psychologist, is to provide them appropriate medical care and safety. And I think giving them something that there are volumes and volumes, fill warehouses full of information that says this is not in their best interest. And Jeff, thank you for monitoring this. And look, there was a time in our history that we talked about the Wild Wild West. Now we're talking about the Wild Wild Web. And when you read something on the internet, just because it's out there doesn't mean it's right, because there is absolutely no control over what somebody says. What you've heard today, you can make up your own mind about it. I pointed out that this lady has absolutely no training whatsoever in medicine, the medical sciences, biochemistry, neuroanatomy, nothing whatsoever. She puts cabbage in water and adds a bunch of salt and says this will grow your limbs. And if you want to believe that, proceed at your own peril. But the lesson here is you really need to consider what you're looking at on the internet. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's right. Proceed with caution.
Yep. Proceed with caution. How much you want to bet that before she went on the Dr. Phil show, she quickly went on her computer and tried to research all the stuff that she could to make her claims sound factual. How much you want to bet she actually did that? I think she did. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a longer video than I was expecting it to be. This is going to be a lot of editing, and I'll see you in the next video. And peace.